Good day, Dailers. I'm Jaden Picklesheimer, and this is Last Week Today, brought to you by the video production class here at Farmingdale High School. Last week was Thanksgiving, so while short, we still have plenty to be thankful for. But I do want to give a special shout out to my own brother, Xavier Guito. Words cannot describe how proud I am to hear that he is in his second to last year of high school, from seeing at his best and to his worst. My brother has grown to be such a better person than I could ever be. He and the rest of the class of 2026 received their class rings at the ring ceremony on Tuesday. With friends and family in attendance, I can say the ceremony was beautiful and pride was in the air. Now we would like to present our newest segment, Club Connections, brought to you by our Broadcasting Club correspondent, Nicolius Shaw.
Good evening, and today I am Nicolius Shaw, and I'm here with...
My name is Sarah Guadagnino.
And then she is the president of the Environmental Club at Farmingdale High School. And then this is Club Connections, where I interview club presidents and leaders and just ask them what the club is about. Sarah, how are you today?
Good, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
What is Environmental Club?
Environmental Club is one of the various clubs that we have at Farmingdale High School, and it's featured around taking care of the environment, as you can tell from the title. But part of what we do is we take care of the garden that's outside of the school, and it all counts for community credit, community service, which is really nice for applications and stuff like that. And we also take care of a competition called Envirothon, where we compete in 5 different categories against other schools in the region.
When did you join Environmental Club?
I joined Environmental Club in 9th grade, so as soon as I started high school. And during COVID, a couple of my teachers recommended me and advised me that I should join a lot of the clubs virtually because, during COVID, we were doing everything virtual. So I actually joined multiple clubs virtually when I was in middle school, before I even got into high school. So it kind of let me know what clubs were in high school already. And so I actually met Mrs. Scheinwald, I met Mr. Sayers before I even got to high school.
Your COVID year was your 8th and 9th grade?
Yeah, it was 7th and 8th.
So what inspired you to join Environmental Club in the first place?
I really felt like Environmental Club aligned with my values. I knew that I had a big passion for sustainability, and we do a lot of things that are sustainable. Gardening itself is really a really good sustainable practice.
Yes, agriculture.
So I really feel like, overall it aligned really well with my values and, what I hope to do in the future.
You want to be a farmer?
No.
Okay. As president, what does a typical club day look like?
We have club meetings once a week after school on Mondays. And typically we walk in, we discuss a little bit as the board, and we make sure that we, know what we're going to be talking about that day. And we just take, a moment to have an agenda and know what we want to focus on, because organizing yourself so that you can really focus the club time is really the best way to lead the club. So we do things like, for Envirothon, we do practices. So, we'll do everything from Kahoots to flashcards to test study guides. We've done practice tests, to prep for the competition. That it teaches you a lot more than you knew about, especially this region, because Envirothon regionally is only this area. So, you're not learning about Massachusetts, birds or creatures. You're learning about New York and, Farmingdale's birds and creatures. So you can really identify them, in person, which is
because
really
my
cool.
life will be so much better when I'm 21 and I'm able to say, hey, I know what that tree is. I know what that bird is. That soil's like that.
Look, we have a lot of starlings and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
It's cool to know what they are.
So speaking on this Envirothon and your agriculture/farming thing, what successful projects have you spearheaded with this club and that you've actually succeeded in?
So a couple of things that we have done is, build and organize the school garden. So we plant annually every year, and we make sure that we have crops that grow. And a lot of our members we either take what we grow and we donate it, or we allow our members to bring it home. It depends on, how successfully it grew or not. So, a few years ago, last year, we grew potatoes and we grew carrots and we grew beetroot and we grew strawberries. And so some of our members took home that stuff. And it really helps students really learn how to take care of the environment. It helps them learn what creatures to stay away from and what creatures are friendly and we don't want to kill them.
Like humans.
Mm-hmm. So the lanternfly is something that, I would recommend killing because it is invasive.
They're just
and
living. Stop being a bully.
but things like milkweed bugs, we definitely want to leave alone.
Wait,
'cause
there's
those
milkweed
things-
bugs?
bugs, yeah.
I thought those were just like the fluffy white plants.
So so milkweed is a plant, but they also have bugs that live on it during the summer months.
Oh, okay.
But they're friendly bugs, and they're not going to hurt you. And if you leave them alone, they will leave you alone.
Just
so.
like a lanternfly.
But the lanternflies invade other things.
So what if they kill a few trees?
It's really a much bigger issue than that in terms of they eat an expansive diet.
Other than being here with me right now, talking about all your nerdy environment stuff, how else would you say you try to raise club awareness?
So we do several things. We do posters. We do things like, fundraisers. We fundraise a lot, and you'll hear us over the announcements as well. We also do garden cleanups where we have a lot of people come in because the garden has gotten so big at this point. We do need a lot of hands to help.
It's truly
with
beautiful.
Organizing it, yeah, because we have to clear everything every year.
There's
and
mice
then
living there.
replant. There is mice.
So what is this Envirothon?
So Envirothon is an environmental competition of which there's 5 categories. So the categories include, current issue. They include aquatics, soils, forestry, and animal.
The Animal Kingdom.
No, it's not the animal kingdom. That
Animal
would be
Tree.
funny though.
Animal Tree?
Eh,
Why do you have all these intricate names?
Animal
Why can't you
Tree.
just say we have dirt, water, trees, and animals? Why do you have all these?
Because it's the
intricate names?
science of.
Yes, we love science. That's the reason we have all this beautiful stuff around us today. Your glasses, these microphones, this table, some science, some elbow grease.
All inventions
Yes.
that continue to be developed and get better.
Mr. Donato, Mr. Donato and Mr. Steinwell, they both are like the club advisors kind of. So what are they like? What's like the working environment when you do study for your Envirothon?
So Mr. Donato and Mrs. Steinwald have been an extraordinary help with, bringing the club together and, making it work.
Yeah, they're like Batman and
successfully.
Superman.
Yeah. And
Very
they're-
opposite, but great team.
yeah, they're two very opposite people, I would
Yeah,
say, in
Mr. Donato,
personality.
he's very cool. He's a very cool human. He doesn't celebrate Christmas in school.
But-
He doesn't load up kids with sugar for Halloween. He should be investigated. I think he's a robot or something. Like he's just like too like inhumane. Like I think he might need to be investigated.
Mr. Donato is a great teacher.
Well, yeah, he's nice. He's a good teacher too.
Yeah.
That's too.
And he teaches living environment, so he's a really great resource because he already knows everything that we're going to be discussing. And Mrs. Scheinwald also teaches living environment, and she also teaches a few other classes, including environmental science. And like I said, when I first joined, I felt like my values aligned, and that was partially because of their values too, because, I really felt like when I had a conversation with them and when I was in the club, they had the same values that I did towards, making things sustainable
Yes.
and recycling. And
How do you think the club impacts the school in a positive or negative way? Don't be biased.
But I really feel like we do a lot of good when it comes to fundraising and making sure that the gardening area is, cleaned up and organized. We do have child lab, field trips where the children come and they play in the background. So we want
That's
to make
lovely.
sure that
Did they play with the mice?
they're-
Oh, that's awful.
we want to make sure that there's no like poison ivy or anything that's going to get in the way because those
Wait,
small
didn't you write that down on like the plant sheet for native plants, poison ivy?
Yes.
Mm,
Occasionally
very.
it grows, so we have to remove it.
Oh, you have to remove it. Okay.
Yep.
What is your favorite environmental club memory in your 4 years of being here?
I particularly enjoyed doing the presentation. So part of Envirothon is that we have to do a presentation, and it makes up most of the points for the competition. And you perform in front of, I would say, 6 to 7 judges. Depends on, what year it is.
Uh-huh.
But getting to, show off the work that we've been doing the rest of the year, because you typically get a question and you get a problem that you have to solve, and for that you have to make up a solution and, organize the whole thing and figure out how you're going to fundraise and how it's going to be, sustainable. And so
Yeah.
I think presenting that to the group of judges really was like a aha moment for me, because I felt like the work that we had been putting in was nice to see our final product.
Being just a busy lady, having so many clubs going on, DECA, Environmental Club, and et cetera, what you couldn't even talk about because we're running short on time. What's it like being the club president of this club, and how do you think it like works with, like, how do you think it works out with like all of your other clubs? Like, do you find it like more busy, more like it's easier to do? Like what?
So I, put a sufficient amount of time into the club, which, goes beyond just attending the meetings. So I make sure that if there's any slides or any things that we need to organize,
You always have the
I
agenda?
reach out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reach out to
Hope it's not a
other
hidden agenda.
people to make sure that we, are collaborating with other clubs, if we need to set something up.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if we need a table, I'll set that up. And I also did my Go Green project last year, which was and it was also my Gold Girl Scout Award,
Oh.
which was building an aquaponics farm
That is just lovely.
near the teacher's cafeteria.
That's lovely. What's an everyday club activity, like an everyday thing like you always do?
An everyday, well, every day we definitely want to make sure that we are signing up for our passport good and doing the attendance.
Yeah.
So I would say
important.
that's definitely every
You know,
day. And then I
getting
would
recognized
say,
for your community service.
yeah, I would say environmental club is something kind of different every day. Like some days we do
Uh-huh.
envirothon, some days we do gardening, and so it's a good mixture of doing
Yes.
different things, every time you come.
Mm-hmm. And now, my final question to you for the day will be: as someone who's a senior in high school, what does this club really mean to you?
This club was
And
really.
what could you say to freshmen who might want to join? What could you say to try to convince them to join?
So I would say that environmental club is going to be really fantastic in terms of getting community service. Our meetings count as community service because we are doing things like fundraising for charities and making sure that the garden in the back is all cleaned up and everything. And I would highly recommend joining it because I think it's important to, have deeper values than, what you first go into things for. So, like I said in the beginning, I really felt like it aligned with my values. And I think for freshmen, finding clubs that really align with your values and what you believe in is really one of the most important decider factors when it comes to, finding a club that you want to stick with for 4 years.
Okay, well, that's all for today. I was here with Sarah, and then that's Environmental Club.
Thank you for watching Club Connections.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Nico and Sarah. And if any club presidents are listening, please don't hesitate to swing by the broadcasting studio in room 204 for an interview. Or email Mrs. Sella. And with that, I'm Jaden Picklesheimer. This has been Last Week Today, brought to you by the video production class here at Farmingdale High School. And as always, go Dalers.